Hey guys, it is Thursday morning. It's hot outside. We're indoors, luckily with AC, but we did speak about how summer fatigue are affecting some people. We spoke about the controversial barbershop videos have been taken down and an apology has been issued. And is dengue fever spreading in the UAE? We've got the updates on that.
One more day to Friday. So if you are not subscribed to the Lovin Dubai Show podcast to actually help you go through this one day, subscribe wherever you get your podcast from. And as always, enjoy the show.
Good morning, Dubai. Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai Show, where we go through all of the trending stories. Our top story for you today: the UAE government has addressed measures to prevent dengue fever.
And as well, the controversial Barbershop issued a public apology.
A UAE doctor confirms that summer fatigue is actually a thing.
And Will Smith is in town.
Later on in the show at 8:50, we'll be joined by Tayeb Santo. He's talking about taking Arab Sounds global, Majaneen, and also growing up in Sharjah.
This is very exciting. And as well, it's 228 days since the genocide began in Gaza on October 7th. The current death toll stands at 35,562, and the number of injured people is 79,652, and 1.9 million people have been displaced from their homes.
In today's weather, the temperature is rising. We hit 46 degrees in the Al Dhafar region yesterday at 3:30 p.m. But you can expect highs of 38 degrees in Dubai today. Before we jump into our top stories, a topic that has been a wild debate in the office yesterday: Gen Z versus millennials in the workplace. Who works harder?
Look,
Millennials.
Gen Z.
Should we stop?
Gen Z.
Done? So
We're done with the show. We're done with the show. I'll tell you something. So,
You're Gen Z.
I am Gen Z.
And how do you know?
Because
she's mentioned it
born in 1998.
many times. That's a trait of the Gen Z.
That is true. Now, that trait is very annoying, but I think we mention it a lot because we often do not get a lot of recognition the way millennials do. Like if a millennial would, let's say, come to, enters a meeting, and a Gen Z enters a meeting, and they both say the same thing. Who's more credible? The millennial. Because that's what everyone in the I promise you, that's what everyone in the meeting will immediately assume. You know what I mean? That might not be the case here, but I have seen that happen.
I don't want to, well, of course, we're generalizing, right?
Yeah,
so this is not I don't want to say that if that's a millennial's thought process, I feel like that could be a little bit, I don't know, it's like, Victor, like, but what are your traits and what are your skills? So I think the obvious Gen Z versus millennial is the idea is that we've grown up in a generation that works longer and harder, and you guys work shorter and smarter.
That is true.
So you are actually flipping the generation playbook for us and making it actually like, my work-life balance matters, I should leave at the right time. So I feel like those are like the obvious arguments.
That is
but then I feel like there's more subtle things that mean, I like the Gen Z work style, but I feel like in this conversation I need to back my generation and say some of the things that make us actually better workers.
Okay.
So you arrive on time.
I mean, it depends on the person. I feel like timing depends on the person. But for Gen Z, they have this thing. It's like if something does not, I would say, align with their values and things. Let's say, like if they go somewhere and the person that they go to is kind of like mean to them, they'll be like, oh, so you're mean now. Fine, I'm out.
That's so interesting because I feel like values are important for millennials, but in a different way. So the reason we work longer is generally we want to find job satisfaction. And then you prioritize your job a little bit more than you probably should. But because you found a job that maybe aligns with your values, or you found something that you actually want to career growth in, so therefore value is important to us, but not in terms of a personal level, in terms of a job level. So find something that you like, and then the personal stuff maybe less, but you found your value, and then therefore you put more time into it because you really care about job satisfaction because you're doing something you care about.
Well, for Gen Z, they have this belief that if you miss the train, there's another train. If you know what I mean, And not only that, like it's like, for example, like I think it's like I'm speaking for on behalf of every Gen Z.
For all Gen Z.
Literally, on behalf of all of Gen Z, is that, you know what, if let's say like they have a manager who is not nice to them, they will call the manager out.
Yeah.
And cancel culture is not only on celebrities, it's as well implemented on managers and colleagues as well, you know what I mean? If Gen Z is so unhinged and so brutal, you know what I mean? They can call out your actions on time, on spot.
And we see that, maybe not in the workplace, but like online, that cancel culture. And do you not think that it's so brutal? Because like, for example, the Selena Taylor, like that type of thing, that like you don't know what's going on, and yet you're putting a very strong judgment without actually having full context of the situation. And were it ever turned around on you, God forbid, that would suck.
That would for sure, but again, like I'm going to give you another example.
Zoya's agreeing with you, by the way. Millennials hold more experience; they're thus more credible.
Yeah,
I think that's unfair. I think it depends on the workplace.
I mean, it depends as well, but as well, you know, for example, like for Gen Z, is that they know they have a lot of, I would say. I wouldn't say experience, but they have a lot of like knowledge because we have social media around, right? And we see our parents work and we see people around us work and so on. So we know, you know, if you guys, millennials, had the social media and you had like you've seen the experience firsthand on Facebook or on Instagram or on TikTok, you would kind of like have an idea of what it is, right? So you would know what to do. But Gen Z have seen it all, so on social media. So they get into the workplace and they know their rights and they know what they cannot tolerate, and they are not there to back down on any boundary they have.
True, and I actually think that that's a really interesting point because we are a generation that didn't have social media and then we had it. So, but you guys have had it. But I actually think that in some ways we've had to, as a generation, adapt, and then that makes us more adaptable in the workplace, and it makes us more flexible because we've had the before and the after. Well, if you guys have only had the after, and I genuinely, and I'm sure a lot of millennials will agree with me, like there's a lot to be said for both generations, but growing up in your teens without social media as much as a focus, I'm so grateful for. Like social media is just an absolute beast, and we work in it, so we thank for our jobs. But on a personal level, I think it's so problematic. I think it causes anxiety, especially in younger people when you don't have a stronger, I guess, brain barrier to like protect you from what you're seeing. So that's one thing that I'm quite grateful that we actually have that, and also that level of adaptability, because I think that that's important to have foresight and like to understand that there's greater context around things than what's like immediately presented to you.
That is true. And by the way as well, Gen Z is kind of like adaptable, because like what happened is they used to go to school, university, right? And then all of a sudden we had to study and work from home. So they had to, like, I would say, adapt to that different reality shift. So they are adaptable in a lot of ways, but they are as well unhinged, specifically if it crosses their boundaries. And
what a word.
One thing that I've noticed, because of course my parents, like millennials, if let's say, because they as you said, they are way more work oriented or way more work focused. So if let's say like you guys are tired, they do not have like the ability to admit that to themselves and take a step back and a break. But a person from a generation Z would be like, I'm sorry, hi boss, I'm tired, I'm not feeling well, I need a break. And they will actually say it as it's just built differently. We're so built differently. Yes.
We'd love your thoughts on that. I genuinely think there's no like right or wrong answer.
100%.
It's just a different generation, but I think that because of COVID, the generational gap has been amplified.
Agreed.
And therefore it's been actually
minimized. I agree.
Speaking of what's being minimized, dengue in the UAE, all thanks to UAE government. We're going to jump into our top story for you today. The UAE government has addressed measures to prevent dengue fever. So yesterday at a federal government meeting, government authorities spoke on the announcement to prevent dengue fever and to limit its spread.
Firstly, they spoke about proactive leadership. The Ministry of Health emphasizes proactive measures and leadership to prevent epidemics. The government has also begun a control campaign to combat mosquitoes with strategic partners using GPS maps to track mosquito spread.
Major thanks to the incredible operations that are currently ongoing. To prevent dengue fever in the UAE, we now have specialised teams in place. Emirates Health Services, they have appointed 9 teams in total for Mosquito and, excuse my pronunciation, Aedes aegypti elimination, with a specialised insect laboratory also in place. 1,200 entomological surveys have been conducted, 309 DNA samples have been analysed, and 409 breeding sites have been eliminated. Wow,
that's a huge number. And on top of that, health worker training is ongoing, raising awareness among health workers about diagnosing dengue fever and as well ensuring immediate electronic reporting of cases. And of course, finally, diagnosis and treatment, ensuring all health facilities provide diagnostic services and treatment for dengue fever following the latest global guidelines.
So, just a quick recap summary. If you are feeling any of the following symptoms or all, sudden high fever, severe headaches, pain behind the eyes, joint and muscle pain, nausea, vomiting, swollen glands, these could all be symptoms. So go immediately to your local health provider. I think we've seen the fumigation on the streets. This has all been exacerbated following the level of water in the city following the floods. But it's great to see such a massive operation already ongoing to prevent the spread of this fever.
I agree with you, and I feel like we should not take the symptoms lightly. If you guys have any of the symptoms, just like immediately go to the doctor. But let's jump to our next story. So yesterday, Casey and I talked about the controversial Barbershop story where he mimicked kids of special needs. However, he has issued a public apology. If you're not aware, a Dubai Barbershop faced a lot of backlash for posting before and after haircut videos where children mimicked disabilities in the before clips. Now, this sparked a widespread criticism and outrage from parents and the public. He has then issued an apology.
So the apology here came on Instagram and said, I understand that my actions were wrong and incorrect and out of line. He also said he seeks forgiveness from everyone who was offended, upset and triggered. In the video initially posted, it had before footage, which we explained yesterday, that had children which were mocking children with disabilities, and this led to severe public backlash.
Now, since then, he has removed all videos and seeks public forgiveness. Wow. I mean, would you forgive?
I'll kind of let that up to let it open to the public. When I first saw the apology, I think it's really... Look, I had conversations behind the scenes, and not even had conversations, like, I personally was deeply disturbed by the videos.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who I spoke to, like, my personal opinion on those videos was like, how on earth? But also I think surely no one would post those videos with that intent. That's the only way, because I could not possibly think that someone thought that was okay. I cannot think that. So therefore, when I see the apology, I have to believe what he's saying is that he didn't realize that implication. Like, and I know when you look at the videos, it's so obvious. But I think that maybe he thought it was like a clever... It's the only thing I can think, because if the intent to mimic people with disabilities, if that was the case, then there's like... then no apology accepted. Like, absolutely, like, that's not okay. So I have to believe that he didn't have that intent. I have to, because like, it's so deeply disturbing.
I don't agree with you. Because he's older than the kids. Right? Let's say the kids did not know what they're doing.
The kids didn't know, for sure.
Exactly. For sure they didn't know, as you said, right? But he is the mature one. So he for sure must have looked at the video before posting it, and he should have been like, you know what? No, I'm not going to post this. I mean, this is so insensitive, and so I would be furious if I would be furious. I understand where the parents are coming from.
But we can be furious as people as well.
Yeah.
Because it's not okay to do that. 100%. And we've come so far in terms of inclusivity. And that should not be viewable in society.
I agree, but I think the blame should still be on him, because like he for sure must have held his phone, looked at the video, seen the kids actually make fun of people with special needs or people of determination and post it. I mean, how can you ever do that? I mean, he should have, fine, let's say that you weren't there when they were shooting the video, but you must have been there when, let's say, the video was posted.
Yeah, look, I think, yeah, I agree with you as well. But
I don't know.
He's put his apology. He's seeking forgiveness from people. I don't see any type of business strategy that could think this was a good idea.
Yeah.
I don't see anyone that thinks, so therefore, because of that, he's a business owner. Because of that, I have to believe that it was just wasn't smart. And we can throw stones and we can judge. Now, look, there's levels of like what type of apologies that we can accept. But I always veer on the side of there's more context to the story, and I really hope that it was just not a smart move. That's what I have to hope, because if it was intended, then I can't look past that.
I don't know, but I think because like he hurt, by the way, like parents, you know what I mean? And he for sure, by the way, hurt as well the kids. I mean, like as a kid, if my kid or if a kid in front of me is making fun of people with disabilities, and I actually inform the kid like, hey, this is not okay. You should.
I think the parents didn't know, by the way, because a couple got in touch that they didn't know about those videos.
He heard both sides. Anyways.
Okay, so we're going to jump on to our next story. It's 8:46. We've got some big stars in town, Mr. Will Smith and Mr. Martin Lawrence. They have landed in Dubai to launch the global tour for Bad Boys Ride or Die.
So they met, crossfade and pretty manic ahead of the world premiere tomorrow before hitting the red carpet.
Yes, so exciting. Bad Boys Ride or Die. I just had to Google, so this is 2024, obviously. I had to Google how many Bad Boys have there been? Do we have Bad Boys fans watching the show right now? Did anyone get to go to the premiere last night? Anyone get to go to the premiere last night? Have you seen any of the Bad Boys?
I don't quite remember.
I think it's like a generational thing, because I grew up with them and they were so funny. I feel like there was Bad Boys 1, Bad Boys 2, and then, so Bad Boys for Life came out in 1993. Oh my God, there have been so many. So Bad Boys 1983 with Sean Penn, then it went to 1995, the one that we would have known, which is the first one, Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, came back 2003, Bad Boys 2, so those were the OGs, and then there's been 2 more since then, so 2020 Bad Boys for Life, all starring Mr. Will Smith, Martin Lawrence, and they've started their global tour in Dubai. Will Smith is, one of our, back in the day, our top liked photograph on Lovin Dubai was Will Smith on a loo at the top of the Burj Khalifa. He was just sitting, like he wasn't actually, his pants were up.
Okay.
But he's just sitting there smiling, and it was like one of like the photos that just went around the world. It got thousands of likes at the time, which was huge. So thanks, Will.
I mean, honestly, I would love to have him on the show.
Yeah, I mean, that would be peak.
Yeah.
That would be peak.
Maybe he's watching. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Chris is watching and then he can maybe make some wasta.
Yeah. Maybe.
We don't know. We can never know.
They went to the tour last night, Bad Boys. Go check it out. I'm sure it's going to be in cinemas not too long from now. Let's jump into summer fatigue. Are you feeling tired? Is it a thing?
So, you are not delusional. A UAE doctor confirms that summer fatigue is actually a thing. So summer hits, suddenly most of us are tired, we want more sleep, we're just exhausted. Well, as I said, you're not delusional. Could be the summer fatigue. So Dr. Mohammed Rashid Farouqi, a specialist in internal medicine at her clinic, Ras Al Khaimah, confirms that summer fatigue is indeed a thing.
The doctor explained that during the summer, the body works harder to regulate temperature and adjust to seasonal changes. People feel tired during summer due to various factors that could include increased heat, longer days, changes in routine, dehydration, and disruptions in sleep patterns.
So, here are some of the ways that you can overcome summer fatigue. Stay hydrated, obviously. Use fans, air conditioning, or cool baths to lower body temperature. Wear lightweight, breathable clothing, and use sun protection, of course. Schedule outdoor activities in the morning or evening. most important thing, prioritize rest, sleep, and as well consume light, nutritious meals that are easy to digest and provide energy. Don't have a lot of caffeine, don't have a lot of alcohol, and if possible, of course, spend time in air-conditioned or shaded environments to avoid overheating and reduced fatigue.
We're heading into the summer, 36-degree high today, and it's going to be another, 5 degrees? Like, it sometimes comes up to like 40 something, 5 or 10 degrees that we're going to have to, our body's just going to have to get used to. So jumping into the summer, I get it.
Look, I love the summer. I'm born in Dubai, I'm a Dubai kid. I love the summer. And whenever I go to a colder country, it's like, I'm freezing.
I'm kind of the same. Because I like the mornings, because you wake up and it's bright and it's easy to get out of bed.
That is true. I honestly agree with you. I'm like you, I prefer waking up early in the morning, making use of my day. But am I struggling with summer fatigue? Maybe after 1 p.m., yeah.
Can I give a millennial's view on this? No.
Go ahead.
This is not speaking for my millennial generation, and I truly understand that some people go through summer fatigue. But I think if you call it that, it just and then it's like during certain points of the year when things are going on and it's a big conversation, then and then I think about, am I feeling summer fatigue? Although it could be, maybe I'm tired because it's that time of the month, maybe I'm tired for other reasons, but then you've got a name for it, and then every summer comes along and I'm like, that's the fatigue, but it could be something totally different. I don't know. It could be multiple factors that lead to me not feeling that great.
I mean, I've tried summer fatigue in Syria, when I went to Syria, and because the situation of electricity in Syria is not very stable. It would like switch on and off every 2 hours or even more, which is kind of like annoying. I actually, we would not have AC and it would be so hot that I would actually not feel like I want to talk to anyone, not talk to my parents. I would want to sleep, I don't want to do anything.
100%.
The fact that I think we're privileged. We live in a country where we have a lot of ACs around us. There's internet. There are a lot of, I would say, like you can go to the mall.
And I must say that it totally depends on your day. So if you're spending any amount of time outside in the heat, you'll feel that effect on your body.
Yes.
It depends on what your day looks like. Like if you're walking to a metro station, you're outside unshaded, morning and back 10 minutes, like it's gonna affect you.
That is true.
So that's when you need to kind of think about how, like some of the examples that you gave, to prevent that summer fatigue. But I think if you're we're so blessed to have the AC to the levels that we do, because in other countries, especially as temperature rising, they don't have it. And it leads to tiredness.
I agree, you guys. And honestly, as well, stay hydrated. I have a problem with that, but we should stay all hydrated.
Same. I don't drink enough water at all. It's 8:53. Before we get to our next guest, a massive happy birthday to Mahira, one of the stars in our office. What age she turns today?
24.
We're gonna say it. Happy birthday, Mahira. We love you. We wish she was here to join the show, but but someone who is here to join the show is Tayeb Santo. We're going to talk. Hey guys, welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. Today we're shining a spotlight on an incredible music talent. It's all thanks to Athara's regional spotlight artist. Our guest today is Taye Santo, an Algerian artist who grew up in Sharjah, but he's lived in Malaysia, the USA and the UK. And since returning from Malaysia in 2016, his music now blends cultures and languages. Welcome to the show. We're so excited to have a chat with you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you guys for the amazing introduction.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for being here. So I want to ask, I've seen your Instagram and I have noticed a plushie, a teddy bear that shows with you in every post. Tell us about it. Where's it from? What is it? Why do you have it?
He's in the car, chilling, sleeping. The monkey was just an accident thing that happened when I was in Seoul DXP 4 or 5 years ago. In 2018, I was about to perform and I found him. It was the last piece. And I was wearing pink sneakers. It's not an usual thing I do. So I saw it and I'm like, yo, this is a God sign, let me take him. So I took him with me. I wore it as an accessory because it was a fashion event, urban culture thing. And I noticed the effect on people and how they perceive it. It was always love, you know, and it always broke the ice and made me open conversation with people and people notice me. So I just realized it's a good marketing strategy to use for my music and my brand. And since then I was rocking the same pink monkey for maybe 4 or 5 years now. And a lot of people, for example, sometimes I see someone who have a video of me, not my face, and be like, I saw you 2 years ago in this place and this place. And I know Dubai and UAE is a small place, so I was like, why not, you know? Just for a while. I don't want people to think that I'm all about the lovey-dovey, pink monkey vibes.
I was thinking that maybe
But
it was like you slept with him. I thought it was like from childhood and he was like someone you take to bed with you.
No, it's that, you know, like I saw Mr. Bean. He had the titty, Mr. Bean, and I was like, yeah, this is the monkey, you know. I have plenty of monkeys. Sometimes people gift me monkeys now, you know, my sister, my best friend, and my birthday, they always bring monkeys. I'm like, come on, are you guys serious? You know?
I think you give like cooler vibes than Mr. Bean, I must say.
Absolutely. And I have a merch coming soon, you know, I was just slowing down on it, but I guess that after the high demand, now I'm just releasing my own merch, you know. Why not, you know? An independent artist, let's make some income.
Well, speaking about an independent artist, let's get into it. So you grew up in Sharjah, you've lived around the world. What was, in your opinion, the music scene like in Sharjah when you were growing up there?
It was very simple, very small. We had the Bluetooth and the forums back in the days in 2004 or 5, and I was a young kid listening to Emirati hip-hop from the streets. It really inspired me and touched me because I can resonate with that. I grew up here, you know. That was more closer to me than Algerian hip-hop at that time. But it doesn't matter, it was just the interest, you know, and it inspired me a lot. I started writing in Emirati when I started, you know, and that now nothing much changed when it comes to the scene in Sharjah. It's just a unified scene, the whole UAE. It's different now because most of the old generation, they all stopped, retired, or they are older now. They got married and what's on. They didn't have the vision, you know. So I was lucky that I come from a generation where I was younger. I got inspired. I engaged with that movement. And now I'm utilizing the technology, the social media, and the knowledge that I have gained through my life experiences, you know, and the internet to take it to further step, you know, something international, represent UAE, represent where I come from originally, represent my diverse community that is what we are here all about. So yeah, not much changed, you know.
Well, you have mentioned that you gotten influenced by the Emirati hip-hop, right? So when did you first start rapping?
First I started, I remember I had a Nokia N70 or something like that in 95. In 2009 I started trying to write for 2 years, and then I bought my microphone from Lulu Hypermarket for 20 dirham, used socks as a filter, and I started trying, you know. But then I stopped again. I went to Malaysia to study. I didn't think that hip-hop will go anywhere. And then I saw how things changed with the YouTube and people using YouTube more. The numbers were increasing. A lot of artists started emerging. 2016, I decided that I want to take this, you know, as a career, and let me try. Let me give it a chance.
So you finished your studying. Is it true that you're fluent in Algerian, Emirati, Egyptian, Arabic Fuchsia, and Darja?
I guess so. Like, I mean, Egyptian, I might get caught if I'm in Egypt sometimes, low-key. But I can pretend for a while that I can speak Egyptian. But Algerian is my mother tongue. I speak with my family. I'm from Algeria. Emirati, been there since first grade. I had to learn. Fusha is what we learned in school, and we watched cartoon when you grow up. So I try to utilize that, you know, so I can have a different sauce in my writing and identity and style and flow. And just practicing made me improve it. But yeah, sometimes I speak some Sudani, you know, because I grew up in Sharjah. We have a football club. There was a big community of Sudanese. Yeah, so I just pretend, you know.
You have a knack for sounds, for languages. Like, did you have that from when you were super young? Were you always aware?
I really don't know what it is. Maybe because I'm an Algerian, so it's like an outsider, so I have to adapt fast. I don't have like a lot of people from my community, so I have to adjust to what is it about there, you know. So that's what made me maybe grasping into the it's an accent at the end of the day, you know. It's not really like much of a difference, you know. It's not a totally different language.
Yeah.
But I can do it in a good way that I don't sound cringe to the other cultures, you know.
Well, let's get to music.
Sure.
So there's your song called Majaneen. Are your friends really Majaneen?
You don't have Majaneen friends?
If you don't have one, it's you.
Maybe.
I mean,
But yeah.
to be honest, if you don't have Majaneen friends in your life, there's a problem. You have to find some, you know.
Yeah.
I have Majaneen friends. I am one of them. I'm considered to the others, you know. So that's where it came from, you know. It was a very simple thing, you know. Sahabi Majaneen. And I just felt like the sound of the word, you know. I'm very careful about that. It's catchy and it stuck in the head. So that's why I utilize that, you know. And the vibe of the beat, you know. I listened to Kai Tronada, he's DJ from Montreal, and the beat was totally different than the usual boom bap or trap instrumental. And I just felt that positive, happy summer vibe. Sahabi Majaneen, you know. Simple as that.
I'm sure your friends are delighted to be the topic. Have you ever written about like relationships, or would you ever choose to?
Yo, I always try or think about it. I didn't, because I never been in a relationship or like fall in love. So I feel like I can't pretend. I heard stories, I witnessed people falling in love and what's so on. I guess I have to give myself more time to grow and mature with it and see if I can bring something to the surface with my writing and my music. I would love to. Maybe I'm more into like sad music, but not love topics when it comes to writing. But everything is possible. I would love to do it, you know, in the near future. I'm still experimenting with my sound. So yeah, at some point I will go there. It's very soon. I try, I will do more. Yeah.
Well, you just need to beat the one, break up, and do that Adele album.
Why are you asking this question though?
Because everyone wants to know. Everyone will be like, what's the song about? And people like to talk about love.
Fair enough.
Affairs of the heart.
That is true.
Fair enough.
100%.
Now we have the answer.
I mean, yeah, we do. But speaking of that, what inspires you to write your music? Life experiences.
It's the vibes. I'm more of a vibe person. I like to vibe. I like the rhythm, the flow, the movement, you know. So I try to focus on that, you know, my ears. I focus on the beat and how this word will sound and if it's gonna bounce and give me that feeling more, you know. So, because, for example, when they tell me, who do you love, Tupac or Biggie? I love Biggie for the fact that in the East Coast they have a different type of sound and beats, and that's what gravitates me. I still love Tupac, you know, respect to everyone, but you know, that's what attracts me as an artist, you know. I feel that and I observe that about myself, you know, it's the sounds.
Do you think we are in a good place for new artists to spread their wings?
Absolutely. The same way I was able to do it and reach to these points or like milestones in my career, definitely it will become more easier for the younger upcoming artists, you know, who are maybe watching or witnessing people like me stepping into the music scene in the game and making something out of it and taking it professionally and treating myself as an artist, as a brand, you know, as everything, you know, business owner, you know. This mentality and this mindset is something we've been lacking. We don't have a very grown industry to teach us or inspire us. We just had the internet and our ambitious, you know, and passion for the music. And I guess the challenge is didn't stop us, but made us grow and learn from it. So yeah, definitely the new generation will find it easier because we had to break some doors on our own, you know. We're like, here you go, you know.
They're gonna have it easy.
100%. So, how did living in different countries like, you know, Malaysia, the UK, the US actually shape your approach towards music?
It just opened my eyes more, you know. As I said again, I love observing things, you know, and understanding why is this like this and what's so on. So, just experiencing cultures, getting familiar with what they do and what's so on, just brings something inside to my subconscious mind, and then it goes out. I wouldn't say necessarily in the music in particular, but it could be just in my personality and how I carry myself or how I connect with other people. And that also can add up and make a difference to my music career, you know. My father was taking me to World Cup since 2006. I went to Germany, to South Africa, and to Brazil. I watched the finals. He always encouraged me to travel, you know. Since a young age, he was traveling as a businessman, and he wanted me to do so because in Algeria, where he come from, it's not like that. So he realized that traveling expands your mind, and that by itself is an educational journey, you know. So yeah, nothing in particular, but it gives you everything. It shapes the way you are, you know. I would say a hybrid version, you know, of myself, you know, because of these experiences.
That's really interesting, because I think here in the UAE, do you find that the artists are have a similar open mind approach to the world?
I guess there's less artists here in the UAE, but from my interaction with a couple of artists here and there, and my friends, everyone is different here in UAE. Everyone have a different mindset. It's like a whole different mentality or like community, you know, from his point of view. Yeah. So it's always good to see this diversity. Unfortunately, because it's not unfortunate, but for us as well, sometimes in the as an artist, because of this huge diversity in the country, it becomes very hard for us to produce something that everyone can relate to. This is not a picture, this is not a video, just a video, this is music. Music is language, and there is topics, and you have to relate to what is there, and at least to understand it. So there's challenges. Maybe you can utilize on instrumentals that have Arabic influence or North African influence, and maybe do it in English, but you still can touch this community because you use the instrumentals. So we are in that challenge, you know, and the artists definitely inspired me a lot here. There is one thing that is different than the whole region here, that the artists here have that sauce or that swag that people outside lack it, you know, around. With all my respect, there's a lot of good people there with swag and sauce, but here in Dubai you get that thing. I don't know, we grew up and we saw things in very early age, you know. We went to Chris Brown concert in 2011 or 12, you know. We seen it all, so that opens our eyes from an early age, you know. And when it comes to you as an artist, this helps you a lot, you know.
Can you elaborate on the different dialects that you rap in and how they somehow shaped, I would say, your maybe cultural identity?
I would say it. Let's say someone from Algeria is hearing me rapping in Emirati and they don't know I'm Algerian, and then suddenly they catch a phrase or like one line, me rapping in Algerian. This will grab their attention and they will become more curious. They are not used to see someone Algerian in the GCC speaking another language. Usually it's an Algerian in France or in America, Canada, UK, speaking that language, and they get used to it. But when I do it, and they're like, why you don't speak Algerian? Just because I speak Arabic, you know, but they are not also used to it. So it just made me experience all these things and educate them that we are people. We are a generation that came here at some point, and there's a lot of people like me, you know. So there is stories to tell. There is something to make them understand from. And also, if I use the Sudanese accent or Egyptian, I'm just trying to build bridges. I'm not trying to do it in a cringe way. Absolutely, the way I feel it, I've said it in real life, so I know how I'm gonna say it in my music, and it's in a very nice doses and portions, just to make that balance, you know. Again, just to touch different cultures and to make them more interested and curious, you know. Because at the end of the day, that fusion makes them listen to someone coming with a sound from a different part of the world, but also give them a taste of their accent or their culture in it. It's always good to have this mixture. Why not? You know?
Why not, indeed?
People be like, "Oh, how do you know that word? Oh, why he's wearing that T-shirt? Does he support Al Ahly? Does he support that club?" Also, I'm like, I like that jersey. I like wearing football jerseys, like the very rare ones, hard to get. So I will wear it. This is part of my fashion. But people, everyone will see things differently and perceive them differently. I guess that's why you are an artist. You just put your touch out there and let people get inspired or entertained or mad at you. I don't know. You know, whatever it is, you know, it's not always a happy, positive reaction, but you learn and you grow.
Interesting. Sometimes people want to put you in a box, but you are a true representation of growing culture, growing musical culture in the UAE. That is Tayeb Santo. Thank you to Regional Artist Spotlight Athara for connecting us, because I think it's really cool that we're able to have this conversation.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. Thanks, Farah. Guys, we're back with you tomorrow morning, same time, same place. Bye-bye.